The third and final week of the preseason is here. A fourth exhibition game is a thing of the past. It's the 49ers and the Raiders. All that and more coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Las Vegas, Nevada. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you, and now we sit, CD, at week 3 of the preseason, and this is the one that the coaches probably think is pretty valuable, right?
Certainly. This is the dress rehearsal. This is the one where your starters are going to play. You might even game plan a little bit more than you do with a normal preseason game, and then you've got to decide, do you bring them back after halftime and get them going again in the third quarter so they're ready to go when the regular season begins? I'm eager to see how these coaches will handle that.
And we are underway at Allegiant Stadium. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Well, the 49ers getting ready to go on offense, and it's the Pro Bowler Brock Purdy at the helm in his third NFL season now out of Iowa State.
And the great story of Brock Purdy continues. Had he been drafted in the first round, I think people would be singing his praises to the skies, but for whatever reason, people can't let go of the fact he's Mr. Irrelevant, and they don't give him the credit he deserves. He is not just a system quarterback. He's a guy who enhances his team. Not just along for the ride, he's the one steering the ship, and without him, their ceiling significantly drops.
First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
And that's how you get started and open up a game. Really well-blocked play. Picked up a nice chunk of yardage. And if you're the offensive line, that's exactly what you've talked about all week long in your meetings. Establish the line of scrimmage and take control. And they gave their running back plenty of room to rumble.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. Fighting through, and he's got space. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 15 more yards there, and quickly another first down.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by the defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
2nd down and right back to McCaffrey. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
3rd and 5. Purdy off the play fake. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. And we're going to stop play here, at least momentarily. It looks like there is a 49er who's in some discomfort. Well, injury's never good, especially here in the preseason. Hopefully nothing serious. They'll take a look at him, and we'll step aside for a moment. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Raiders for their opening drive, and at the helm in his first year in silver and black, 6th season overall, Gardner Minshew.
And he's someone who brings a ton of personality with him, but don't let that fool you. He's more than capable of playing winning football at this level and has actually done so. I don't know if he's their long-term answer under center, but as long as he trots out there, they'll have a puncher's chance and maybe a bit more to compete with any team they line up against.
And Minshew with nowhere to go, and they take him to the ground. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Well, the very first thing they told us, Charles, was we need to apply pressure early, and I would call that early pressure a nice sack to start the game.
And on the other sideline, I just have this image in my mind of the head coach on the headset with the offensive coordinator.
asking him if that's exactly what he saw in his mind when he called that play. And if so, is it going to be like this all day? That's a tough one right there.
It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. Now Minshew. Short throw caught by Bowers. And it's not going to be enough here. A gain of 4, about 2 feet short of the marker. 4th down.
If this were baseball, we'd call this small ball. Instead of pushing it downfield, they throw a short pass trying to pick up the first down, but the defense rallies to the football and stops him short, bringing up a 4th down.
So on 4th down, here's A.J. Cole to punt for the Raiders. Back to return it, Christian McCaffrey. Just a yard return there after a punt of 49. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their second drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Yeah, that's a nice pickup there, especially when it comes on the heels of a 3-and-out the first time you have the ball. They were determined to not have that happen again, and that's a nice throw for their first down of the game.
And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And he'll push forward for a couple to the 34. 2 yards on the 1st down carry, and then followed up by 2 yards on the 2nd down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on 3rd down to keep the drive going. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Excellent coverage on the play from Trayvon Merrick.
Well, they've moved the ball okay here in these first 2 drives, but this one's going to, again, amount to nothing. They've got to start dialing up some plays that allow them to finish drives with points.
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. And that will bounce out of bounds before they can get a return going. 2nd drive of the game coming up for this Las Vegas offense. And the last drive, their 1st drive, 3-and-out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. They went 3-and-out on their 1st drive. Things already looking better here. 1st and 10. We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter from Vegas. The home-standing Raiders with a football here, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw it. Minshew. No, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. It's Jair Brown who's got it. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
San Francisco set to go on offense once more. They'll have very good starting field position here after the turnover as they search for the first points of the ball game. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Purdy will set up to throw it here. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
Back to throw, Purdy. Another grab here for the dynamic Christian McCaffrey. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And he's going to have a Niners first down, and he was able to get it by plenty. A gain of 8 on 3rd and 3.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have had to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive. He just danced away from that one defender on his way to a gain of about 7 yards.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Second down from the 8. They can get a first down by reaching the 5. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Purdy from the gun on 3rd down. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Nate Hobbs. And the Raiders are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
And that felt like a little extra pressure on that 3rd down attempt, and their mistake cost them points because they're inside the red zone. So you know you've got at least a field goal waiting for you. And in this case, they end up with nothing.
The Raiders heading out to take over. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. That's Mayer, the tight end. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. Second down.
We'll put that one in the win column for the defense. Trying to contain tight ends in the passing game is so difficult nowadays, but they did in a big way there.
First carry now for Alexander Madison. Give him a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders. Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
Minshew sets to throw. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete. These offensive starters still out there in the second quarter. You would think the plans for them to at least play into the third quarter, if not all the way through it.
Yeah, it might go by feel. If they have a really good first drive to start the third quarter, they might pull them after that. If not, might leave them out there a little bit longer, but I'll guarantee this, they'll be gone by the start of the fourth quarter.
The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll check in with our Jonathan Coachman. He'll have highlights and analysis of the first half, and our highlights will likely be on the defensive side of the football here. Scoreless game. Good work by Minshew there to pick up the first. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. A dump off for Abdullah. Only able to gain a couple there, and that'll bring up second down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
And that's too tall for his receiver. It's incomplete. You know, last week I remember asking you, what would an offensive coordinator be looking for week 2 of the preseason? Now we're in week 3. Defensive coordinator-wise, what's he looking at?
For the most part in preseason, you're playing pretty basic stuff, pretty vanilla defenses. You're looking for guys that play with abandon, that just go out and make plays and kind of let their athletic ability take over in order for you to notice them.
4th down, and on comes the Raider kicker, Daniel Carlson. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. Carlson able to put this one through. And we have action on the scoreboard just before halftime. It's 3-0.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal. And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
And he's going to be out of bounds, ending a great return that gets him all the way to the 30.
I know the special teams coach will not permit himself a smile here, but inside, he's glowing. This is what he practices for. This is what he schemes. This is what he watches tape to put himself and his team in a position to score points. An absolute dream return.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Throwing here, Purdy. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 13 yards there and a Niner first.
A promising sign there from an offense that hasn't done a whole lot to this point. Nice job to locate the open receiver. And it's good yardage and a first down to open the drive.
And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Play action, and now here's Purdy to throw it. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. How to approach this. 3rd down and 16 yards to go. Purdy now to throw. And that will be incomplete. The Raider defense strong on that one in coverage, and now it's 4th.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
And that is no good. And instead of tying it up, they'll remain down by 3.
Wow, that qualifies as a bad miss because anything inside of 40 should be automatic. That's a big mistake right there.
The Raider offense going to head out now late in this first half. And you wonder if they'll just take this 3-0 lead to the locker room. Here's Minshew. He gets this to Devontae Adams. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. And that one will go down in the books as just a one-play drive and then 3 points tacked on to the end of it. Now 2nd and 3. From the gun, Minshew to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop him with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Short throw caught by Bowers. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Here's 2nd and 3. He'll drop to throw. He goes underneath to Abdullah. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space.
But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete. That close on third down, I think everybody probably expecting a run. Instead, they go to the air on third and short yardage.
I realize this is a passing league, and they're liable to throw the ball on any down and distance. But that short, I do question the call. Run the football and pick it up.
And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
So we have reached halftime here in Vegas with the Raiders on top. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. Week 3 of the preseason is here. Everyone wrapping up their exhibition schedule. No games for the league on Labor Day weekend. And then it all begins. The 17-game regular season gets underway on the Thursday after Labor Day with the NFL kickoff game. In our game, expect to see the starters for at least one more drive. Something to look forward to as we get you back out to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. Both of these coaching staffs with some big decisions to make coming up as the preseason draws to a close. This second half is going to be filled with a lot of evaluation. And to bring it your way, we go back to Brandon Gaudin.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Raider offense ready to go here to start the third quarter. Their defense has pitched the shutout. Now they probably need to deliver a little breathing room, maybe make it a 2-score game as they've got it 1st and 10. Going to begin the drive here with Madison. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And just not enough on the throw there, down around his feet and incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Off play action, it's Minshew. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line. 1st and 10 at their own 27. And he'll start by handing this off to McCaffrey. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 64 yards rushing for him now to this point. As we surmise, Charles, most of the starting units still out there for this third quarter. First time this preseason that they played into the second half.
And that's by design. Most of the time by this point of the preseason, you want them to go into the half, cool down, and then come back out and warm up to start the third quarter like you would a regular season game. That's exactly what they wanted to get done.
Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
A 3-yard gain and enough for the first down.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
As soon as he leaked out and began his route, someone on the defensive side broke with him and arrived just in time to separate him from another reception.
A good action to this point in the third quarter. Just a 3-point game. 2nd and 10. he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Purdy. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Here comes the 49ers punter now as he's on to kick it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. A 40-yard punt, no return. And it'll be Raiders football 1st and 10. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Here's Madison getting it again on second. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Here's Madison running on first down. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. Nick Bosa using that speed to get in there and break that play up.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Short throw caught by Bowers. So he stopped for no gain. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Now they go screen. It's complete. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Niners offense and Christian McCaffrey ready to go once more. And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the 3rd quarter. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
And McCaffrey going to pick up a Niners first down as the tackle made up near the 35. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more preseason football on EA Sports. Back now in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Now former 6th-round pick, it's Elijah Mitchell. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
The defense thought they had that play covered, but it still got driven backward by those blockers. Those types of plays are a key part of any team's offensive game plan. It all starts up front in the trenches.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. The Niners on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
Brandon, offensively, this has been a tough day for him. Trying to find a place to throw the football. It's been extremely difficult. I've got to give a lot of credit to the secondary, especially the corners who have had the receivers on lockdown.
The Vegas offense ready for their next possession. Another important fourth-quarter series coming up. That last INT helping to maintain their slim advantage. First carry of the game for Zamir White. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Good push from the offensive line, and they've done well so far to build this lead. Now, they've got to get things to the finish line, and that's a solid pickup there to begin the drive.
To throw here, O'Connell. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. First down, here's White. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do, late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
They'll see about converting this 3rd and 8. Now O'Connell. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
Well, we knew this guy wasn't especially fleet of foot, but he tried to conjure up some escapability, but there was no way he was getting away on that one.
So a big one coming now for Daniel Carlson. This to swell the lead to 6. And this one is no good. He missed it. And that will keep this a 3-point game. Maybe an important fourth-quarter miss as this stays a 3-point game.
Yeah, now overtime is very much in the equation here. Just what you mentioned, a 3-point game. They get a drive, put it through the posts. We could have some free football, couldn't we?
San Francisco's offense returns to the field. I tell you what, it's kind of hard to imagine. They have not scored a single point, and yet they're in this position, a touchdown drive here, and they're in the lead.
Normally, when you have 0 on your side of the ledger on the scoreboard, you're a little bit discouraged. But when they look over and see their opponents, they don't see a number that's way out there. They don't see a number they can't attain. In fact, they can get it right here on this drive and potentially take the lead.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example. And Dobbs is going to be swallowed up as he'll go down. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. This crowd turning up the decibel level. It's 3rd and long. Pass complete, Thomas. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Now Dobbs. He's got Thomas yet again, complete.
Holding offense.
They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
Still first.
It's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Dobbs. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
He'll look to throw. Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
Well, you knew you had to take some chances here with the clock winding down, needing a touchdown to win it, and that one might have just sealed their fate.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the 2-minute drill. The offense trying to go downfield and make their plays. But defenses, they're sitting back watching everything that they do, but not too far back. They want to be in position to make a play on the ball, and that they did.
The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. And this game not quite over yet. And we'll likely see them take all 3 timeouts defensively, so they can't just kneel this one out. They're going to have to try to run a few plays.
You're exactly right. They've got to get a first down and make them use up all their timeouts in order to feel like they have this one in hand.
The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach, he's in big trouble.
Now remember, no overtime here in preseason. This offense hoping that's a moot issue as they try to finish this one off. O'Connell working from the gun. Going deep here for Bryant.
And he knocks the ball away and it falls incomplete.
This defense has been so stingy all game long. No reason to think it's suddenly going to open up now. They took their shot, but this, like many others, falls incomplete.
They'll go for it. O'Connell.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Raiders try it on 4th down, but to no avail. And that will force a turnover on downs. So that's a decision that could loom pretty large here. They go for it on 4th down, but come up empty.
But I actually like the call, and the reason? It shows me a head coach has faith in his team overall. First, on the offensive side, thinking they can pick it up, but also knowing that he has faith in his defense that if they don't, they'll go out there and stop them. I like the confidence he showed.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
That completion helps out in a nice way. Now they can take a little bit more time, but guess what? They've got to make sure on their throws that they see it open, not just anticipate it.
Oh, look at Thomas wide open.
He's got room to roam.
And finally down at the 9-yard line.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, only they were all this easy because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
It didn't check off every box, but the most important one. Got the clock stopped, getting out of bounds. They may be a little short of the first down, but I thought that was the key.
And he's across for the touchdown, and it's likely the game winner here in the closing stages.
What an outstanding drive right there to take the lead, and also, Charles, didn't leave their opposition with a whole lot of time on the clock.
Yeah, I like the way that you're viewing this because they did a tremendous job to put themselves in a position to win, but they can't celebrate just yet. They've got to clamp down on any big plays and force them to use up those timeouts without making any headway.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Here's 1st and 10. O'Connell. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over.
And a fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports.
With that, we say goodnight from Las Vegas.
Just give me that.